Blah, 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 blah.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday.
Well, my sunshine was a little bit better than what it was on Wednesday. I got one word for I'll have one word for my Wednesday. Ouch.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
What's up? And by the way, one more thing. Paramount owner Dave Ellison, fuck you for trying to steal our favorite channel away. Fuck you for that.
Huh?
What now? What?
Oh. Oh.
Okay. Oh, the guy that started um Turner Network Television, Ted Turner passed away yesterday. Was it yesterday or
2 days
What?
ago, I think.
yeah? But still, he
No, it
passed
was
away.
Thursday. It was Thursday.
He's
Sorry, I
and
had to get that out of the way.
You're fine. Go ahead, GM.
wasn't TNT one of the first cable stations to start showing wrestling?
TBS. TBS.
Well, I assumed wrong then.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start
Oh,
things off with let's get a little bit technical to start with, okay?
as long as you
So
do the tech terms in simple English, so I can understand it.
so we're going to talk about a vulnerability in Linux. Now, mind you, I have always said Linux is one of the most secure, safe, and powerful operating systems to exist. And that is correct. But just like every other system in existence, there is a possibility for errors, bugs, and uh, problems to creep into the software.
Mm.
Okay, you got to
That's true with any
remember,
kind of technology.
yes, and you got to remember, whereas Microsoft Windows is developed by maybe a couple thousand people max, Linux is developed by hundreds of thousands of people. Okay, pretty much anyone who is a user of Linux contributes to the development of Linux just because some of your usage logs will get sent to the different developers of the software so that they know if there's any errors or anything like that. What's up,
And
sure,
So,
Jan?
so you could compare. Now, I'm just using ants as an example. You take a colony, say, of about 500 ants, and that's
That's
the
gonna be
Microsoft crew.
Microsoft.
And then you get
Yep.
the Linux crew, which is tens of thousands of ants.
Or
And
hundreds of thousands or
that'd be the
millions.
Linux.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah,
So,
that's
so
how I grasp it. I'm sorry for using bugs as an example.
no, you're good on this because a colony is a perfect analogy. Even Mike will agree that a colony, a bug colony like that, is a great analogy for how Linux operates.
yes.
Oh, okay. So a couple weeks back, there was a fatal uh, flaw found in uh, in Linux in how it deals specifically, and I'm just going to get the exact terminology here. How it deals with the cryptographic subsystem called ALGIF underscore AEAD. What it does is what that subsystem does is this changes the set user ID binaries so that you can depending on the situation, you can give certain groups root access or not root access. How this works is a Python script. Now, I'm not going to be reading the whole Python script, but
Just basically, what does a Python script do? I
it's
know it's kind of
basically
sounds like it'd be kind of like a snake.
it basically is, in this case, it's 732 bytes of data. Mind you, a byte is one character. So an A is one byte, B is another byte, C is another, that's so on and so forth. Okay. So all it
Gotcha.
is 732 characters that bypasses the standard Linux uh, permission schema and makes it so that whoever executes this code is root. Now, why is that important? In Linux,
Can't do anything. They can't do anything if they are.
hold on. In Windows, you have a bunch of different user accounts, trusted installer system, that you never see. And then there's your own user account, which is usually labeled as an administrator, but will require user account control confirmations to do any kind of admin tools. So, like, Shirley, when you install software, you know that little window that pops up on your screen? That's user account control. That's the computer asking you for permission with one click to allow admin tasks to be done on your computer.
So,
Okay? Go ahead, Jan.
so it's like the window pops up. Do you want to do this? And then you have the little box that says yes, and the little box that says no.
That is user
That it?
account control in Windows. Yes. That is user account control. Now, in Linux, it works a lot differently. Your base user account, usually labeled as user number 1000 or 1001, as far as the system is considered, is usually given access to what's called the sudoers file. Sudo, sudo, hold on. Sudo is essentially you telling the computer that you want, for the command that you're putting in, you want the computer to elevate that command to root or user account 0 permissions. Root in Linux and in Apple is in Macintosh is the absolute end all be all. Nobody can tell root they can't do it. When you issue a command as root, it does the command. Period. End of discussion.
So
Okay.
if you tell that root command to
If you
affect
are
the computer,
if you are acting as root, tell the computer to do anything, it's going to do it. Period. Period. Now, I'm going to pull up a quick whiteboard so I can doodle this out and explain it in better terms, okay? Mike, you know when I pull out the board, there's a reason.
Yep.
So, the command we're discussing right now is this.
all right, the pin sudo.
Okay, that is the command. This part of the command right here, the SU, means
What does it mean? I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to do that instead. That'll be better. Thank you. This part, the SU, is a command in Linux called switch user. Okay.
Well, I can't read that small print.
Switch.
Oh well.
So then
Sorry.
the next part,
Forgive my questions, but I'm curious.
the
Here you go.
next part of the command is do command. Switch user to do what I tell you to do.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense now?
Hmm.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Now,
I've got another question. Do the Apple computers operate on the same operating system as Mac or Windows?
no, the
Or is it
Macintosh operates on what's called BSD, FreeBSD, but it is a Unix-based operating system, very much like Linux. So
Okay.
many of the commands that you use in Linux land work in Mac. In Windows, it's a completely different setup, okay? Now,
All right. Carry on with your
I'm-
discussion.
I'm going to
And
teach
still make that
everyone
word box.
I'm going to teach everyone a little command that if you have a Linux box or a Macintosh box, do not do this command. However, I'm going to teach you this command for a reason, because it helps me explain how the command structure of Linux works, okay? Get ready.
Gotcha.
This is an ultimate command. Now, I have put this in.
Thank you.
So let me explain how this works. This first part
Thank you for
here,
making the print bigger.
we've already discussed.
Mhm.
That is the sudo command. Okay? What does sudo
Gotcha.
do?
Mm.
Right? What does sudo do? It does exactly
Do-
what I've been saying.
it does what you
user,
tell it to do. It does what you
switch
tell it to
u-
do.
switch user to do a command.
Mhm.
Oh, back up. I gotta undo that. Okay. So switch user to do a command. RM is the command for remove.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it gets good. RM is the command for remove. R that dash tells the command that you just entered that there's going to be extra qualifiers to it. R means recursive. F means force. And then the space and the slash tells it what to remove. Now, what does recursive mean? It means go into every single folder, every single folder, every single folder, every single folder, and do the RM command. And since you're forcing the issue, there is no saying no.
Oh.
What it does is it's literally going to delete every file, every folder, every every device, everything from your Linux computer.
Jeez.
Like I said, do not issue this command.
Very good advice.
Okay.
Surely.
Now,
Didn't we have one of our scenarios where the guy wiped all of his files off of his work computer before he was fired?
Yep.
and
Yeah.
and if
I-
it was a Linux box, he probably used this command to do it. Why? Because it just can't be done. It just can't be overridden. Now,
That,
now that we know what sudo means, okay? Sorry. Now that we know what this does, you now understand what root access is. Root is literally the root, the basic, the beast of the system. So,
Can I
what
ask you a question? You know when you log into your computer and you have the lock screen and you got to enter the passcode? Is that similar to what you've been telling us about here?
no, it is not. It is not.
Okay.
So, what happens when you enter the sudo command? And this is important. When you enter
Renders
the
your computer
sudo,
totally useless.
no, when you enter the sudo command, your system is going to say, do this.
mm-hmm. Authenticate.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Now,
Gotcha.
when it says these words, what it's asking you to do is put in your user account password. That's what sudo forces. That means that when you put in that password, it basically is telling the computer you acknowledge whatever you do is going to have lasting repercussions. What does copy fail do? It's simple. What copy fail does is that you don't need to enter sudo. You don't have to fucking authenticate. You don't have to do anything. It gives you full, absolute root access. So this command right here is all you have to put in to destroy your computer.
E.
Okay? Does that explain it in a way that can make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what copy fail did is it bypassed all of the normal controls in place that forced the use of sudo
Mm-hmm.
and gave whoever wanted them the keys to the kingdom, essentially,
Yes.
which is 730, I think it 738, I think it was. Let me look. 732 character script.
Huh.
Because it bypassed every fucking control in the system.
Mm.
Sounds like somebody's going to be scrambling to straighten the mess up.
Fortunately, thank you for that, because Janet, you just did me a huge favor. You just did me a huge favor via a segue.
How?
Via a segue.
Okay. Welcome back,
Fortunately,
Craig.
fortunately, the vast majority of the base Linux distros have already issued patches for copy fail. Ubuntu, all versions of Ubuntu are now protected from it. All versions of Fedora are protected against it. All versions of Arch are protected against it. If you are running a 7.0 kernel of Linux, you were protected from it from the get-go. Base the versions that you had to worry about for the Linux kernel was versions 4.14 all the way up to 6.19.12 of the um of the kernel were vulnerable to this. Were being the key word. Because if you have an updated kernel, you're safe. But because of how prolific Linux is in the web space, Google uses it, Amazon uses it. I think even Microsoft uses a version of it in its back end. YouTube uses it. You know, umpteen millions of websites use Linux as their backend because Linux's footprint as a whole is much, 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 much lighter than Windows.
Mm.
That means that most of the internet was vulnerable to this.
Wow.
Now, I do want to give a caveat. While Android is based on Linux, okay, so your Android phones are based on Linux, it was unaffected due to the fact that it used SE Linux policies, where the only part of ALGIF AEAD that was exposed and able to be used was the dump state process, which is only used for bug reports. It was not able to be affected because most Android phones don't have access to root unless you're like me and love to root their things so that you have absolute access. But then again, I know this, so I accept the risk of this kind of thing. Or B, your phone has been exploited in some way. 99, hell, I'll go even further. 999,999 out of 1 million Android phones would never have been affected by this.
Mm.
Glad for
Okay.
that.
So understand how safe Android is with regard to that. That put that into perspective for you. So this had a lot of potential, but because of how fast it was detected, we are not aware of any active exploitation of it.
Mm.
Yep. The reason it was being used, it was active, was because of how easy it was. Understand that active doesn't necessarily mean that you have been affected by it. However, if you keep your Linux systems up to date, you will not be affected at all. So I'm gonna go
I
into a
just
little
let the
bit.
updates run.
I'm gonna go into a little bit of a tangent, and I'm gonna say right now I'm very proud of both of you. So for those that don't see it on the screen, as far as I can see, Shirley is over here and Janet is over here. So in this way, I am pointing to both of you.
I'm back.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Welcome
so I'm
back.
very glad you guys do that. What I'm going to say is going to sound crazy for some people. However, 95 times out of 100, I would say update your computers whenever there are new updates available.
I
Regardless,
just got two of them. I just got a couple of updates the other night. And it totally messes up the computer till you reboot the computer and everything loads. It fucks everything up.
regard
That's the only drawback.
regardless of what you think about updates, most updates are used to patch vulnerabilities like this. The 5 out of 100 times that I mentioned that I don't recommend updates is if certain software would break, if certain mission critical software would break because of an update.
What did they
Yep.
say that was?
It was a faulty update. That's the beginning and end of it. It was a faulty update. And those do happen. Those do happen occasionally. But as much as I hate Microsoft, your asshole, okay, they do a pretty good job of making sure their updates are good. That being said, however, there was another major uh 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 vulnerability exploited this week. And for this one, we're going to turn the show over to our resident Panther Joker.
Oh, you want me to talk about the
Yep,
canvas?
yep, yep.
So, I think it was yesterday when it was fully announced, but a website called, or a system called Canvas got hacked into.
Hmm.
Canvas is it allows schools, colleges, universities, like students are allowed to like check their grade, check their assignments. It allows professors to, upload assignments, submit grades, emails, and all that stuff. So when that got hacked, over 9,000 schools were hit.
Wow.
Meaning they couldn't check their grade, they couldn't check their assignments. Most have finals right now. That is a terrible timing for this. The hacker group goes by Shiny Hunters.
Hey, guess what? That's a Pokemon reference.
I was just about to mention that. That is a Pokemon reference. If you like to hunt shiny Pokemon, then you are a shiny hunter.
Ah.
So today I was going around kind of seeing, what schools in Iowa were affected by this that I know of. University of Iowa, Iowa State University. And as far as K through 12, Cedar Rapids School District all use Canvas. Now, what is happening with this right now is they're asking administrators to pay a fee to get their stuff back. Ransom, yes. It's not a good situation.
So when we're speaking about ransomware, Mike, you want to help me break this one down because this is a really good one.
I mean, I don't know much about ransomware. That's a
Oh,
little
I
out
love.
of my expertise. So,
Well,
It's basically
you,
holding your computer hostage, your computer information hostage.
yes,
Is
yes,
what
it
it
is.
is.
But let's go a little step further than that. So you get a piece of ransomware in your system. What's the first thing this software does? Doesn't show you anything's going on. You may notice your CPU heats up. You may notice, your hard drive access is going absolutely bananas. Okay. What it's doing in the background is use, and this is specifically for Windows, specifically NTFS. What it does is it in the background starts to encrypt your files with a encryption key. Now, what does this mean? Your personal files, all of them, become encrypted. That means all your save games, all your downloads, everything in your personal folder becomes encrypted. Your computer can still boot. Usually, it'll put a web page or some kind of scary message in your startup. And it'll literally have this big ass fucking screen that says, "Hey, your files are encrypted." Da, 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 da. Okay. What they do is they force you to get Bitcoin and send it to a Bitcoin wallet address to get the decryption key for it. Usually, the decryption fee is about $100 in Bitcoin, which in today's market, I'm going to give you an exact amount here. All right, so let's see. Let's go $100. So in all reality, that it doesn't sound like much, but it's 0.0012 Bitcoins.
Got a
But that
question. Is that per folder that you got to pay the
No.
ransomware on? Or is it
No.
just one
Because
encryption key for everything?
they encrypt it with one key. This is a big part of the reason why when someone in computer industry says back up anything you cannot afford to lose, this is exactly why. Now, I'll admit I'm not the best at backing up stuff myself, but you know what? I'm not stupid enough to store incredibly critical stuff exclusively on my computer. That's just me. I mean, personally, I can afford to wipe my drive if I need to. But
Yeah.
because I'm on Linux, I don't have to. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying. But be that as it may, understanding how this function works is key because since it's an NTFS encryption, that means that there are ways to get around it. If you look up online for ransomware decryptors, they do exist, and you can sometimes get your software back for free. So yeah,
Okay.
be careful with that though, because it can. But like I said, that's how how that works. That's how how ransomware works, and the reason it earns so much money is because people store irreplaceable stuff on there. Your kids' pictures, your pictures of your grandfather before he passed away, the pictures from your daughter's wedding. I'm gonna heavily recommend, no matter who you are, invest in a NAS. What is a NAS?
What?
NAS.
An ass is a man. Never mind. I was going to make a bad joke about a donkey.
No, you're good about that, Jan, but I said NAS. NAS.
Yes.
It
Okay.
is short for network attached storage. And what it is it's either one or a bank of hard drives that are attached to your home network. I do recommend, once you fill up those NAS drives, to put them somewhere else. Like, oh, I don't know. How does a safe deposit box sound in a bank? I know that sounds a little excessive, but it's the safest option. Now, the same view of collecting evidence is also how I recommend backing up irreplaceable files. One backup locally, one backup stored on a cloud service, and one backup stored somewhere off site. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Redundancy is the name of the game when it comes to backups. So, am I saying everyone needs to go out and buy a NAS right now? No. Am I saying it should be something you seriously consider? Fuck yes. It's important. But yeah, don't break the bank over a NAS. Mike, do you have any other tech stories you want to hit?
Not on my end, no.
Oh, one of the cool things is, so let me just, small little bit of trivia for anyone who doesn't know. Ted Turner is the reason why we have uh Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
And also, here's a little fun fact. It's also affecting us wrestling fans too. Because he used to own WCW before Woman Crush Wednesday came along. So people need to know that WCW was the wrestling before the Woman Crush Wednesday.
Yep. But anyway, continue on, Shirley. Sorry for the small interruption. Yep. You know, a little bit of trivia that a lot of people may not remember, and I'm old enough to remember it, but I want to see if you remember it, Shirley. Back in the day, TBS was one of the very few stations that ran their channel on the fives of yep.
Oh,
Every show was plus 5 minutes from the top or bottom of the hour.
Yep. Also, it was referred as Superstation. And also TBS is the one with when they had the show WCW Saturday night around 6:05 p.m. on Saturdays in the
Yep.
90s.
wow.
And also helped start Monday Night Wars.
Chug, chug, chug.
What? I agree with that. I agree with that. Yes. Well, there are times when pollution almost won. It involved Glinka, right? Is it the one that involved Blinka?
Huh.
He was good at what he did. Yeah. Can you explain that one episode where Glinka's brother passed? Cousin. Okay. And, and go ahead. So who was the baddie that did that? Yeah, he's the one with the rat face, right? And then the leader of those bad guys is the one that looks like a stupid pig. Yeah. I may not.
Huh.
You want to know what I
You're
like about
forgetting.
Captain Planet? Even go ahead, Scott. Finish.
Hold on.
You're forgetting the biggest name of all, Gaia. Gaia, the spirit of Earth.
Wow.
You want to know what I liked about Captain Planet? They didn't come across as preachy, in my opinion. They didn't
Eh,
come across as preachy.
Wow.
AIDS was spread is spread by blood,
my
or
favorite.
or
My
doing
favorite
or doing
episode
a
of
deed,
that show.
make making transferred by blood transfusions, transfusions, or doing the deed with somebody who already has it.
My favorite episodes of it was just in general the episodes for Captain Pollution.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of strange to have Captain Planet being done by a company, Hanna-Barbera, that is used to doing lighthearted cartoons like Yogi Bear and Huckleberry Hound. Johnny Quest, Johnny Quest.
Clicks.
Oh, that's coming
Okay,
back. I don't know, but I heard something about SWAT cats returning. I don't know what it's about. Maybe look it up, Shirley. But yeah, I heard about that. I was like,
can I
wait,
say
what?
something to Scott? Scott, let's hate to get off on a serious. What was it you were telling me today about Facebook, Scott?
Facebook's on a kick of demonetizing people's channels.
That would be
Yep, that's it. Okay, there. Okay, I have a little
Let's
bit
let
of.
Scott finish talking.
I was just saying that there's different content creators that have been putting out videos not knowing how long they're going to last, because a lot of people, like other people that they are associated with, their channels being demonetized or deleted left and right on YouTube for basically no reason whatsoever. So it's pretty scary what's going on at the moment. Say.
I was gonna say I do have a little bit of gaming news for you guys. Now
Go
this
for it.
has been out for a little while, but I recently got the game Hytale. Now, Hytale, Hytale, is made by the same people who make the Hypixel Minecraft server. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they've done a fucking amazing job. They really have. If you're interested in it, look it up. It's only $20 to buy, but it's literally like think Minecraft with a whole shit ton more. Minecraft plus 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 plus. It's that bad. It's that
To the
cool.
100th hour.
It's unlike regular Minecraft. There's magic. There's a lot more weaponry. In normal Minecraft, you only get swords and bows. In this, you can get battle axes, maces, flails, well, there's crossbows in Minecraft too, but there's a lot more crossbows. There's a lot. It's actually really nice. Look into it, Shirley. Hightail. Because I think it's pretty good. But that's just what I wanted to put out there for a quick gaming bit. I'm gonna bounce out, finish it.
all right. Later, brother.
Hey, Frodo.
And Thor and Zeus were really pitching a bitch outside, weren't they? Was there any glass near the door? No, I would like to. I would like to have watched out a safe window, just to see what it was like outside.
Yep.
Not
None.
even plexi.
All windows will get busted out when a tornado comes through.
Yeah, I know when they had that derecho in Iowa. Remember that, Mike? They had that big old derecho in Iowa.
That's
Glass,
coming.
glass, and a lot of buildings were blown out.
Let's say the ratio is more like a hurricane in inland.
Nope.
It's inland hurricane.
Nope.
She had the window shakers all night. She had window shakers all night. Yeah, was it as bad as the first time when I had stayed up half the night with you? Hey, I wish there was a way to channel. There was a way to have channeled half of that to Arizona. Yeah. Well, what blessing. I don't know if the snow chances are still good up in the Rockies. But if it snows in the Rockies, it means the snow melt will trickle down into our lakes. Oh, speaking of lakes, there was a fire that popped up near Lake Mead in the Lake Mead rec area. Hold on. Alexa, is there still a fire near Lake Mead?
There's no active fire near Lake Mead as of today. The last reported fire was on April 24th, and it was contained by 9 a.m. that day. Are you planning to head out to Lake Mead today?
No.
Got it.
You're lucky the device didn't answer you, Shirley. Well, like I said, you know my saying about the predictability of the weather. Hey, been late about 2 weeks in a row. Wait a minute. I thought Among Us came before trivia. Hey, you were going to mention a possible new game for the show, and nobody ever did. Oh, it was put out by the same people that did Cards Against Humanity. Right. So anyway, oh, I just wish my abdomen wasn't so sore. All right.
Yep.
Oops.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.